Welcome students, and in our today's class we are going to do the second story of the chapter number 3. This is two stories about flying, and the second story in this chapter is Black Aeroplane, and it is written by Frederick Forret. A very nice and mysterious story. Okay, so let's read both these stories. That is his first flight and Black Aeroplane basically deals with an urge or desire for the human beings to conquer the sky. Okay, so let's see about the aeroplane, the Black Aeroplane. Very mysterious stories, and I tell you, most of you are going to love this story. Okay, so brief summary I'm telling you. Okay, no, I'll not break your suspense. Let me read and then let me tell you. If I give you the brief summary, I'll break the suspense. Let's read paragraph. Okay, so the moon was coming up in the east behind me. The stars were shining in the clear sky above me. There wasn't a cloud in the sky. I was happy to be alone high up above the sleeping countryside. I was flying my old Dakota aeroplane over France back to England. I was dreaming of my holiday and looking forward to being with my family. I looked at my watch, 1:30 in the morning. So this person was flying up in the sky and he was going to England, and as he was flying he could see the sky was very clear. Okay, there was not even a speck of clouds. This is very important, students, because it's mentioned over there, not even a speck of clouds. The stars were shining bright, and he was eager to go to England. He was flying his old Dakota plane, and from France he was going to England. Okay, let's proceed. I should call Paris control soon, I thought, as I looked down past the nose of the aeroplane. I saw the lights of the big city in front of me. I switched on the radio and said, Paris control, Dakota DS-088 here. Can you hear me? I am on my way to England, over. This question comes on this part. Why did he call the control room for the first time? So he is calling the control room for the first time to tell them about his location, and also to find out the direction, and also to inform that he is taken his flight. So he decides to call the control room at Paris, and then he is telling them that his plane is Dakota DS-088 and he could see the lights of the city. The voice from the radio answered me immediately. DS-088, I can hear you. You ought to turn 12 degrees west now. DS-088 over. So the person or the person on duty at the control tower immediately responds and says that the plane needs to turn 12 degrees west, and that's how the response is being given. I checked the map and the compass. The compass is there, the map is there in the plane. So the pilot, he checked, and then switched over to my second and last fuel tank and turned the Dakota 12 degrees west towards English. As per the direction from the control room, he is turning the direction of the plane. I will be in time for breakfast. So as he is flying, he is thinking that he will be there in England for the breakfast. I thought, a good big English breakfast. Everything was going well. It was an easy flight. So everything smooth, fine, all good. Paris was about 150 kilometers behind me when I saw the clouds. They were huge. They looked like black mountains standing in front of me across the sky. I knew I could not fly up and over them, and I did not have enough fuel to fly around them to the north or south. So the thing suddenly changed, and the sky, which was very clear, there were stars, and he was nicely, smoothly flying. Suddenly he find that the sky was overcast with the clouds, and there were dense clouds. Now he had less fuel in his tank. Okay, so as he had less fuel, there was no option that he could go back or turn north or south. So he was left with only one option, that is to fly through the clouds. So immediate, quick decisions he had to make. Okay, then we find now is, I ought to go back to Paris, I thought, but I wanted to get home. I wanted that breakfast. So since Paris was just 150 kilometers back, so he had few options. Number one was going back to Paris. Number two was flying around the clouds, which he could not do because he had got very less fuel. The first option, going back to the Paris, he didn't want to because he wanted to enjoy his breakfast in England, or he wanted to really go back to England for his holidays. And so that leaves him with only one option, that is to fly through the clouds. I will take the risk. So he decided that he's going to take the risk. I wanted that breakfast. Sorry, I missed out, students. I wanted that breakfast. I will take the risk, I thought, and flew that old Dakota straight into the storm. Inside the clouds, everything was suddenly black. It was impossible to see anything outside the aeroplane. The old aeroplane jumped and twisted in the air. I looked at the compass. I couldn't believe my eyes. The compass was turning round and round and round. It was dead. It would not work. The other instruments were suddenly dead too. I tried the radio. So we find, students, that as the plane, his old plane, Dakota plane, enters into the cloud, and it's giving a jerky movement, okay? The plane is giving a jerking movement, and then when he is looking at his compass, he is getting a shock of his life because the compass needle is going round and round and round and it's not working. So very soon he realized that his compass of his plane is not working. Basically it is dead. Let's see now what happens. Paris control, can you hear me? There was no answer. He's calling the control room at Paris, but there's no answer. The radio was dead too. I had no radio, no compass, and I could not see where I was. I was lost in the storm. Then in the black clouds near me, I saw another aeroplane. It had no lights on its wings. Please note it down, students. So he was trying to call the control room. No answer from there. The instruments of the plane were not working. So he is trying to work on the needles of the compass. The compass needles are not showing him the direction. His compass failed. The other instruments failed. The radio failed. There were no signals. So he was lost in the black cloud. Suddenly, when he looked towards the side, he spotted another black aeroplane. Now, what was the strange about this black aeroplane? That is, he saw another black aeroplane, but it had no lights on its wings. But I could see it flying next to me through the storm. I could see the pilot's face turned towards me. I was very glad to see another person. He lifted one hand and waved. Follow me, he said. He was saying, follow me. He knows that I am lost. I thought he's trying to help me. So once again, I just repeat the thing, students. So what is this person telling? The writer is telling that when the plane entered into the clouds, his compass stopped working. He tried to contact the control tower, but the signals were not there. He was not able to make a call to the control tower, and he was completely lost. Definitely, it is a frightening moment for any pilot. He was not able to know which direction is he going. Suddenly, what he is spotting is, he's spotting another black aeroplane who is flying sideways. And when he's looking through the window, he is able to see the silhouette or the image of this black aeroplane along with the pilot, and he saw that this pilot is telling him to follow him. Okay, so he is just thinking that maybe the pilot of the plane who is flying sideways is thought that he must be thinking that he has lost his way and is guiding him. Okay, the only peculiar thing or something strange about this plane was that this plane had no lights on its wings. Okay, so let's see now what is the next paragraph says. He turned his aeroplane slowly to the north in front of my Dakota so that it would be easier for me to follow him. I was very happy to go behind the strange aeroplane like an obedient child. After half an hour, the strange black aeroplane was still there in front of me in the clouds. Now, there was only enough fuel in the old Dakota's last tank to fly for 5 to 10 minutes more. I was starting to feel frightened again, but then he started to go down and I followed through the storm. So this plane took towards the direction of the north and started flying in front of Dakota, and like an obedient child, the pilot of this Dakota plane started following, and then they were moving ahead. That first was the suspicious plane, that is this black aeroplane, and followed by this Dakota plane. And then suddenly the pilot of the Dakota plane realized that he had fuel in his tank only to last for 5 to 10 minutes, and that made him worry more. But as he was worrying, he saw that the plane is going or flying downside, okay, towards down. Then next, suddenly I came out of the clouds and saw two long straight lines of lights in front of me. It was a runway and airport. I was safe. I turned to look for my friend in the black aeroplane, but the sky was empty. There was nothing there. The black aeroplane was gone. I could not see it anywhere. So, as he was panicking again, suddenly when they were moving down, he saw the that is your airstrip, and he knew that he was in the airport, and he landed very safely. And when he landed safely, he was looking for his friend, the guide who saved him through the storm, guided him through the storm and brought him down safely. But he could not spot any plane, he could not see any person there. Okay, so let's see now. I landed and was not sorry to walk away from the old Dakota near the control tower. I went and asked the woman in the control center where I was and who the other pilot was. I wanted to say thank you. She looked at me very strangely and then laughed. Another aeroplane? Up there in the storm? No other aeroplanes were flying tonight. Yours was the only one I could see on the radar. This is the suspicion of the mystery. So the moment he went to the control tower and is asking the woman on duty over there, and he's telling, where is this another aeroplane and where is the pilot, I want to thank him. Then the woman is just giving him a blank look and is laughing and is telling that, sir, it was only your aeroplane which we could spot on the radar, and there was no one. He must have got a shock of his life. So, who helped me to arrive there safely without a compass or a radio and without any more fuel in my tanks? Who was the pilot on the strange black aeroplane flying in the storm without lights? So these were the questions of the pilot of a Dakota plane. That who guided him? Where was this plane? Who was a pilot? Who could guide him without compass, without fuel in his tank? And he could land safely. So with this, students, the chapter comes to an end, and there are a few questions. So I told you it is quite mysterious and quite interesting. So again it is ending and it's giving an abrupt end. It is left for the readers to decide. So since you have enough time now, decide and think who was it. Let's come to the questions now. I will take the risk. What is the risk? Why does the narrator take it? I will take the risk means he is talking that he has decided to fly through the storms. As the number one option was to go back to Paris, which he never wanted to do because he wanted to enjoy the breakfast in England. The second was to fly through north or south to turn away from the storm, which he could not do because of the less fuel in his tank. So he decided to take the risk. The second question is, students, describe the narrator's experience as he flew the plane into the storm. Very scary, very disturbing, as the old Dakota was giving a jerky, shaky feel. Then suddenly the compass was not working, the instruments were not working, the signal was weak, the radio signal was lost, he was not able to contact the control tower. Okay. Then why does the narrator say, I landed and was not sorry to walk away from the old Dakota? Because he has faced death very closely and he was very happy to land, and he really wanted to go and thank the pilot of another mysterious plane. What made the woman in the control center look at the narrator strangely? Because the narrator went to the control room and asked the woman about the whereabouts of this plane and the pilot. And the woman was shocked to hear it because she could not see any other plane other than this old Dakota on the radar. Then your question number 5, who do you think helped the narrator reach safely? So here, students, again it could be like, you can give some answers, but as per the text or as per the story or as per the chapter, you will have to write the answer to this is that As mentioned in the chapter, he could see a mysterious plane flying along by, and the pilot of this plane cautioned him or motioned him or told him to follow him, which he did like an obedient child, and that is how he landed safely. Okay, discuss this among yourself and give reasons for your answer. So reasons for the answer is same as I told you, that the facts which are given in the chapter, that only you need to mention. The things which are given in the chapter, we are not going to give our own stories or give our own facts. We are just going to write whatever is given in these stories, okay, in the chapter. So in the chapter it is clearly mentioned that he had seen one plane, though there were some mysterious things about it, like from where it came. Then second is there were no lights in the wings of this plane, but still when it is given in the chapter that he could see another plane alongside who cautioned him, who told him to follow him. This pilot of the Dakota plane followed him, and that is how he landed safely. Okay, so these are again, students, few questions which are given at the on page number 40 of this book. I'll be putting a few more questions on these chapters which you should try to answer. If you know the answers, well and good. If you don't, you can ask me, I'll give you the answers. So a nice interesting story. So read it once again. All the best.